Asani, you are on the line with Tim
Ooh,
Russ.
Asani, let us see her face. Hi, sweetheart.
I am so nervous. Oh my gosh.
I love you,
First of all,
Asani.
thank you. I love you too. Can y'all hear me good?
We can hear you perfect. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. First of all, I want to say thank you for this community you built. Shout out to one of my brothers in Christ. He put me on your show over a year ago. I've been watching all the time. My daughter was like, all you do is go to the gym, listen to Tim Ross. Like, she picks on me, but I appreciate this.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for trusting our voice.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so my question is, okay, last year was literally the toughest year of my life. I've been saved since a young age. I just realized I guess last year that I was lukewarm for most of my walk. Even though I was serving, I was doing all the things. But last year I lost my son at 35 weeks pregnant. I
So
have a
sorry.
13-year-old. Thank you. I have a 13-year-old, and I had considered myself like wanting to do things the right way the next time. And I met this guy. I was abstinent for it was 2 or 2.5 years. I was so proud of myself. And yeah, things happened. I got pregnant. My pregnancy was so hard, Tim. It was so hard. I was sick every single day for the entire 9 months. Like, I've never thrown up so much in my life. Hospital visits, getting IVs, dehydrated. It was horrible. And I just feel like the thing that was keeping me sane was knowing I had this baby at the end. I wanted my son. His dad wanted him. And it was just heartbreaking to not be able to get my son. So my question is, and just some context, his umbilical cord wrapped around his foot 3 times.
Oof.
So it just sucks because it's like that's the thing that was keeping you alive, and it took my baby out, and it just hurt my feelings so bad because I'm 32. I had my daughter, I think I was like 17, 18. I wasn't praying during that pregnancy. I was trying to make it through school and stuff, but this pregnancy, I read the Bible with my son. I read out loud. We listened to the Bible. I rubbed my belly with oil, and I was just heartbroken. But honestly, I can say I sat in that hospital that day, knowing when they told me he had no heartbeat, I sat there and I still trusted God because I know I'm his daughter and I know he wouldn't do that to me for no reason.
Absolutely.
I knew he had a plan. Like, as heartbreaking as it was, I just felt like it was protection. And I thank God, like, if you guys are in North Carolina, my church family and my pastor, they were so good to me. But my pastor, he came and he told me, like, this is not punishment. And I needed to hear that because it felt like it was a consequence. Like, let's be real, the wages of sin is death. So I take accountability, and I realize I put my son in a position to lose his life, but my pastor reassured me it wasn't punishment. Like, God didn't do this to hurt me. So my question is, like, how do I fully deal with grief? Like, I feel like with relationships, I'm able to be like, okay, you delete the text thread, delete the pictures, and it's whatever. Eventually you get over it. But this is something that, like, that was a piece of me.
For
He
sure.
grew inside of me.
Absolutely.
And sometimes I feel like I was in therapy before I had my son. I've been in therapy. I got a new therapist. I started a 12-step program, like a process group. So I'm doing the things, I'm serving. I feel like I've been through deliverance, reading my Bible, but sometimes I feel like I don't know if I'm really dealing with it. And if I'm just trying to, like, forget like it ever happened and act like it never happened. Like, do you have any suggestions and tips for that?
Absolutely. First, I just want to say thank you so much for just trusting us with such a tragic part of your life. Like, that is, to lose a child at any stage is heartbreaking. But to be that far along.
Like, he was almost here, and
Yeah.
it just breaks my heart because, like, I don't know if it was sorry to cut you off,
No, you're fine.
mom's intuition, but it's like, I don't know if subconsciously I knew. Like, I just don't know if subconsciously I knew. Like, as a mom, I can't just say, hey, I'm ready to have this baby, take him out. But I just felt in my spirit, like, I need him to come a little earlier. Like, I felt like I was trying to protect him from something. And on top of dealing with a horrible, sickly pregnancy, I got hands put on me, like domestic violence. Like, it was just crazy. Like, he was the light at the end of the tunnel. And it just breaks my heart that he is not here. And with his 1-year anniversary coming up on March 12th, it's like,
Wow.
I don't know how to, like, people are like, are you going to celebrate? Are you going to do anything? I don't know.
For sure. Absolutely. For sure. Okay, so there's one part of what you said that I want to address, and I would like to shift the perspective, okay?
Okay.
You said the wages of sin are death. That is absolutely true. But that had nothing to do with your baby. When I tell you that had nothing to do with your baby, that had nothing to do with your baby. God is the giver of life. Whether you were in a happy marriage and this was your 5th child you were having, I do not want you to associate that verse with the death of your child. You having sex with that man is not the reason why your child died. That is a lie from the enemy, because he wants to keep condemnation, guilt, and shame on you. And so before I go any further, I need to take that shame, condemnation, and guilt off of you. It does not belong to you.
Thank you.
Okay, so and do you receive that?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Because I'm telling you, that verse has nothing to do with that baby.
I'm glad you said that. I was literally like, I was going to write a book about my experience, and that was going to be the title, Tim. I kid you not.
I'm glad
that was going to be the title.
I'm glad I changed that title. I'm glad God changed the title.
That was going to be the title.
Yeah, because that's not what this was. Like, like, I can't tell you how many babies born out of wedlock have gone on to be amazing people in the faith and evangelists. And the first person that came to my mind was Reggie Dabbs. Reggie Dabbs' mom got pregnant off she was turning a trick. She was hoeing and got pregnant with this dude. And that man has evangelized more high schools probably in the world than anybody that I know of personally. So if the wages of sin is death, there ain't no way Reggie Dabbs should have came out of his mama's womb from mid hoeing. Like, this is how the evangelist got here from his mama hoeing. So okay. So now that we got that straightened out, let's talk about the grief, because grief comes like the tide in the ocean, and sometimes it's a low tide, sometimes it's a high tide, and sometimes it is a tsunami. And you don't know until you're on the beach.
Literally.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful that you are already getting the therapy and the counseling that you need. You're going through your grief work. But I want you to know, like, you don't have to, as March 12th approaches, you don't have to have a plan. You know what I mean? You could get hit with a tsunami on February 28th.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And you might want to eat a cake on March 12th. And somebody be like, how come you're not more sad? I mean, you lost your baby. Like, so, like, you don't know when it's coming. My dad, my next month is a year that my dad will be gone. This time last year, he was in a hospice bed in his life, and we were walking him down the corridor of death. So, and that grief comes in waves for me. The first 4 months of his grief, child, I can't tell you how much I said the F word. I'm so, like, it was always in the car, and it was always like I would have a thought about him, and like I'm obviously not gonna say the word right now, but I would just say, so I'm gonna just use a word that
like
rhymes.
WTF, right?
Yeah. Well, no, it was just that word, and it was really live. So I'm gonna say duck instead of the other word. But I would just be driving down the street. I would think about it, and I'd be like, duck. Like, it was a vein popping scream. Like, and I wouldn't start crying, but I was angry. All of my anger was coming out around his loss and his absence. It was his absence that was just, it angered me. I was mad he was gone. Like, and I could have thrown Jesus glitter on it and been like, the Lord gave me 74, almost 75 beautiful years with this man. And so, you know, the Lord wanted him back. And then another angel has his wings, which ain't theologically correct at all. Ain't nobody going up there getting some wings placed on their shoulder blades. So I just want you to embrace however grief comes to you. The deal that I have made with my grief is, when it shows up, I will not ignore it. Okay. When your grief shows up, do not repress it. Do not ignore it. And however,
I'm writing this down.
Yeah, no, that's good. And however it shows up for you is appropriate for that day. So if grief shows up for you one day and all you want to do is cry, that's boom, great. If it shows up for you another day and you're angry, that's a good grief day. If it shows up for you another day and you're just looking at the sonogram pics, right, and remembering the shape of that head and that nose, and you know what I mean, it's like, that baby was gonna look like me. Like, you know what I mean? All the things, like, you grief, there's no formula for it. So when it visits, don't ignore it, because grief is one of those things that if you do ignore it, it'll show out on you.
Wow. Okay.
It'll spray paint your house. It'll start throwing rocks through your window. Right? It'll blow up your phone 42 times in a row. It'll drain the battery in 20 minutes. It'll just keep calling, right? So I think you're doing a really good job, and I applaud your bravery for not only allowing us to hear you today, but also to see you.
Thank you. This is literally me kind of facing a fear. I hate public speaking. I feel like I'm just one of those people. I want to be in the background. Let me help you out any way I can. And I feel like because of that and because of my heart, God is like, no, you need to do more.
Wow.
And I thank God for my pastor, because he challenges me, not in a pushy way, especially more so before this last year. But now he's like, it's time, like, let's get back out there.
Yep.
And I need to be more vocal. I have so many testimonies. And even after the loss of my son last year, like, I'm so proud of myself, Tim. The way I've handled this year, you would not have known if I did not open up my mouth and tell you. I started a weekly Zoom, like a discipleship program.
Wow.
I do life with people because that's the culture my church has taught me. So I didn't let this stop me. Like, I'm really proud of myself. I have my moments, I have my days, but this has not took me out. I didn't have to take any medication. They prescribed it, never took it. Like, I thank God. I hate that this had to happen, but I'm going to use it. Romans 8:28. It's going to work out for my good and for somebody else's good, because I'm not going to be silent about it.
I'm so proud of you. Hey, bravery looks so good on you, Asani. It looks so good on you.
you.
Hey, and I want you.
I was like, I might have to turn my camera off during, but I'm proud of myself. I got through it.
I'm so proud of you. Hey, shout out your church and shout out your pastor because everybody ain't going to no bad broken up church.
No, absolutely not. And next month will be 6 years I've been at my church, Pastor Ravon Ravenel in LaGrange, North Carolina. It's called the Presence Church. Please come visit us. You will not regret it. You will
That's
not.
what I'm
Anybody I've
talking
ever
about.
invited, they either join or they definitely come back. Pastor Ravon Ravenel, the Presence Church.
Hey, let me tell you something. Ravon Ravenel is a dope name. Period. Right? Like whether he was a pastor, motivational speaker, or the guy that does your personal banking. If he hands you a card and it says Ravon Ravenel, like, okay, sir, you official. I'll listen
He's
to
so
you.
dope.
That's so
He's
dope.
so dope.
Well, shout out
Thank
to you.
you.
Shout out to Presence Church. Shout out to Pastor Ravenel. I love you so much, Asani. Have a great weekend.
I love
Okay?
you guys too. Thank you. Y'all have a great weekend. And
All
keep
right.
doing this. We love it. We
Oh,
love it.
it's here to stay. Bye. Woo! Asane. Doing her grief work. Her grief work.